Hello, and welcome back to the Wicker Chair Chats. Once again, I am the old man, and this is my wicker chair, and this is my Wicker Chair Chats baseball cap, and I am ready to chat. This is my very first Wicker Chair Chats on my new computer. It's a Samsung, and it appears to be working very well right now. Look like I'm talking to you right now, and I feel pretty good about that. Um, I've been off the air for quite a while. The other computer kind of died on me, and then when I got this, I didn't know how to use it properly for a little while, so I got a lot of turned this on and got a lot of responses that that I had to not respond to yet lately, but I'm back on the air and ready to chat. So let's chat about my favorite music band. That would be the band that I'm wearing a t-shirt of. You may not be quite able to see, but that's the Folkum band. It's from my church, which is the Chesley Road United Methodist Church. The band is led by a very charismatic young man whose name is Bob Marzell, and he did all my kitchen windows last year, as well as put in a brand new steps for me, which I showed you a little while ago from a year ago, and a marvelous looking back porch that I'm looking at right now out the window. And he added some stuff on both my doors to keep me nice and cool in the summer and hot in the winter, which he's doing right now. So thank you, Bob, and thank you for being the leader of the band. And Bob, of course, is joined by the most charismatic young lady, vocalist that I have ever encountered, which I encountered her very first by when I opened the two squeaky doors to get into the church. She was the first one to greet me. She said, "No assigned seats. You can sit anywhere you want." So I sat in back, way back. So I didn't want to be noticed. I didn't know quite what was going on at that time. They were having a praise and bagels day, and so I was watching them praise and bagels, and I was looking around for a friend of mine, which was back then the original pastor that just left a year ago, and he was a good friend of mine, was Linwood Arnold, and I kept on looking at Bob, and I was saying, "That's not Linwood. That's not Linwood. Where's Linwood?" And a couple of minutes later, he came in, and I recognized him because he never aged. But enough about me and him. Let's back to our band. We have the charismatic female vocalist, who's also one of the head leaders of the what do you call them? I don't want to stutter. The Special Olympics does a marvelous job at all of that stuff, and along with taking care of a house full of guys, which is two teenage boys now, and her son, or no, her husband, who is actually my best friend. He invited me to hang out with the band the very next Sunday I was there, and been doing that ever since. His name's Frank Bird, and he is a bass player for the band, and along with being somebody who takes care of his family by having numerous jobs, keeping him up all night and still working with the band when it can, or when he's supposed to. So I have very utmost appreciation for all that he does. And they are joined by another very charismatic woman on the keyboardist. She is named Chris, and Chris married a man named Chris. So they had, their name is Chris and Chris. And she's a perfect keyboardist, never misses a note, and her singing voice is like an angel when she does sing. And they're joined recently by the few, very few, the proud, and a new guitarist in our Folkum band, which happens to be the minister's husband. I always have great respect for the ministers' husbands, because there's not very many of them around, even in today's time. And they are joined by another bass player, which happens to be the epitome of the last man standing, because he, like Tim, is the last man standing because he has a wife and 3 small children, small girls to take care of, which he does an excellent job at. He travels the world, gets a chance to play in the band too. Along that line is the glue that holds the band together, and holds any band together, and that would have to be the drummist. That would be Kyle. And what can I say about Kyle? Well, if he wasn't voted for the class clown in every yearbook he's ever been in, he should have been. And he's a very nice person, married to a very nice lady, and they all have nice kids. So this is my favorite band, and they wouldn't be complete without their man behind the camera right now, Rob Story, who is very good at what he does, excellent at what he does, and who's married to a woman who helps keep what my young childhood was my Christian camp, Mechawana. She keeps it running. So I thank her for that, and I thank you for listening to this episode of the Wicker Chair Chats, and I hope to hear you, to give you bigger and better Wicker Chair Chats as time goes on. For now, thank you, and welcome back to the Wicker Chair Chats.